Before we get started today, I just want to remind you of a few things I'd love to offer. We start next week, and so I just want to let you know about my new unlimited membership. It's just $47 a month. I will be going live every single week in our group with accountability, the tools and techniques to help create change. You can find the link on my website, heatherhakes.com, but it's also scrolling now. All right. We are going to go ahead and get started. Oh, we have quite a few of you. Hi, Tampa. We've got Florida. That sounds warm. I'm in Denver. It's literally 20 degrees out. Yesterday we had a bit of snow. So winter started early here. California, beautiful. Canada, hello. Alberta, I'm sure it's chilly up there. Virginia, we've got a couple Alberta and Georgia. All right, this is amazing. Thank you all for joining. All right, so what I want to share with you today, I love visuals and metaphors. I think it's a great teaching tool. And I came across an amazing one last week. I think it was more like technology and IT stuff, but it's a beautiful visual. So I'm using it. Again, if you're catching us live or watching the replay, I'd love to hear from where you're watching from. And we have someone in Europe, England. That's amazing. Okay, and I highly recommend when you're watching these and doing these, take notes because you will remember and learn way more when you're literally pen to paper writing this stuff down rather than just passively listening to the info. Hello, Jose from Indy. All right, let's get going. Thank you all for joining me. So today what I want to show you is the power of thought. And before I show you this visual, I want to share a story with you. One of my coaching clients, he was sharing with me, he's a very successful businessman. He has a huge heart of gold. He's been able to turn his mess into his message, but he lives in a state of addicted to stress, which most people are. And here's the thing, when you're living in a constant state of stress, it's that monkey mind, that mental chaos. I call it like an internal tug of war. It doesn't feel good, right? Like you are not meant to live in this constant flight or fight mentality. So I asked him a question, and I'm sure you've heard this before. As within, so without. And because I know all this mental stress and stuff he's going through, I straight asked him, I was like, what's your office like? I wanted to know, like, are you living in a messy environment or is it just messy internally? And guess what? He's like, oh, my office is a mess. I have piles of papers here and I have piles of papers here and to-do list and notes here and here. And I was like, all right, your homework assignment this week between our next call is sit down, take the time to organize your life, literally organize your environment. And we just had our call on Monday 2 days ago, and he was so excited to show me. He took his laptop and showed me around. It was beautiful, totally organized. He finally had things in place. He had structure. He had clarity. He created clarity in his business, next moves, projects, etc. And guess what the point of this was? And I asked him, I was like, well, how does that feel? He's like, it feels so good. And think about it. When you're organized and it's not chaotic, you can walk into a room and feel the energy. It feels calm. It feels peaceful versus chaos and you don't know where anything is. You're always looking around like it's messy, right? So I want you to think of that. Number one, right here, right now, where can you create more organization in your life? Number one, I'm talking today, I'm going to share with you how to organize the mental, the internal, since the external is simply a reflection. Also, I want to share with you something I did a couple years ago. If you're familiar with Marie Kondo, there was this awesome series on Netflix about sparking joy, tidying up. It's this Japanese way of organizing. Anyway, long story short, she shares you how to, again, I'm going to show you this visual. This is, now she's talking about your external environment, your home. But I'm going to share with you how to do this internally. Anyway, I went through, did this process. It literally, I'm a nerd, so I took notes because I podcasted about it. It took me 35 hours to go through this process over a week in my home. But I think we're going on like 4 years later. I took the time up front, but I have kept that organized routine, sparking joy. I literally walk into my home, open drawers, and like I just always have organization, structure, clarity, and it feels good. Your environment is huge for your internal state of mind. We have somebody saying 100% agree when organized. Yes. All right. So let me get into these visuals. This is what I want to share with you. And please, as I go, I love having this back and forth conversation because if I'm just talking to myself, it's that not that much fun. So I'll be checking messages, the chats. Let me know if this is making sense, if you're on board. If you have questions, ask me. Okay, so here's the visual I came across last week. I love this. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to try to be as descriptive as I can. So ultimately, what this visual is showing us is it's a huge pile of Legos, multicolored pile of Legos. And so the first picture is data. I want to explain this to you. We have somewhere between 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. So I want you to look at that very first picture, data. That's all your thoughts, right? So I always talk about and coach my clients through the first step in creating any change in your life is awareness. So anyway, this first picture right here, data. That's literally, think about those 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. It's this jumbled mess until we start creating clarity, structure, and organizing it. Okay. So let me scroll down so you can see it on top. Something I talk about often, I like metaphors, I like visuals. It's just an easy way to understand and comprehend. And so a lot of times I talk about, building a house as it relates to designing your life. Like you get clarity. What do you want that house to look like? You draw the blueprint. You have to excavate. You have to build the home. Then you get to decorate. Okay. It's this whole metaphor. But if you look at this first picture, all this messy data, again, I'm sharing with you that each of those Lego pieces is one thought. And it's really messy until the second step in that visual was until it's sorted. So in this picture, they've taken that huge pile of Legos and sorted it simply into colors. So I want you to think of this stage. Now, again, this is a metaphor for your internal state, your mindset. I want you to think of the sorted stage as that awareness piece. You start becoming aware and observing your thoughts. This is when, like, kind of in that sparking joy, tidying up in your external environment, it's time to throw out those disempowering beliefs. You want to sort out what's no longer serving you. So let me check in and see if this is making sense. Feels good to be organized, keeps high vibes for sure. Thank you, Lisa. Before I go on, are you guys understanding? Like, are you picking up what I'm putting down? The idea of this huge pile of 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Most people living on autopilot, unconscious, going through life's motions. Life is predictable. You hit the snooze button. It's like you don't feel that passion and purpose in life because you haven't sorted yet. Make sense? All right, let's keep going. The second step in this visual was arranging those Lego pieces. So now this visual is, remember, we sorted into those different colors, and that's just becoming aware of those different thoughts. Arranging them is now starting to stack. Thoughts that you keep thinking create the beliefs that you have. And again, we have empowering thoughts that make you feel good, that push you in the direction that you want. And you have disempowering thoughts, AKA limited beliefs keeping you stuck. So, what I'm sharing here in this arranged state is when you start, and this is a big thing I teach my coaching clients. One, awareness. Then you have to start implementing. This is creating habits. You have to start implementing mindful and intentional practices like meditation, journaling, morning rituals, writing out daily manifestos. This is about being intentional. So when you start arranging your thoughts, a big thing, the coaching client that just organized his office and feels so good. The next thing we're working on is, I know a lot of people feel like you don't have time for self care, but I want you to know that self care is necessary. It's not selfish because you can't pour from an empty cup. So, something I'm coaching him through is the importance of having morning rituals that if you take the time in the morning to be mindful and intentional to create clarity, direction, intentions for that day. It's about being proactive with your life instead of reactive. And if you do those morning rituals, and it's about that self mastery, then you can take on the day. Then you're not living in high stress. Then you're not having all that crazy data and the monkey mind. Okay. Again, let me check in. Is this making sense? You guys still here? All right. I want to go to the next stage with you. And please, if you have questions, ask them as we go. This next stage, this is what I love. Now we start having fun. This is about creating clarity in your life. And this is something I ask my clients up front. It's like, what do you want to have in your life? What do you want to have, be, do, and experience? And do you know many people don't even have clarity, don't know what they want because you're so stuck in autopilot going through the motions. It's like you're so far in the weeds, you don't have time to come up and take a breath of air. So, in this visual, presented visually, they've taken the Legos and they've stacked them, a tall pile of red and yellow and white and blue. So, let's say, like, this is prioritizing your life, right? So, you know what you want financially, and you know what you want with your travels and adventures, and you know what kind of home you want, what kind of business, what kind of job, career. Do you want family, your hobbies? This is creating clarity through those different life buckets. So if you think of this one presented visually, the life buckets, it's knowing what you want with your life. And then when you prioritize those, again, this is being mindful and intentional, working on one thing, creating clarity. And that's how you create these and ultimately hit those quote end goals, right? Your desires. Finally, this last one is the Lego. So remember, this last one was about presented visually, those piles, your priorities, what you really want. You have clarity. Now it's explained with a story. And I don't know who first said this, but I love the idea that you are the author, writer, director, and actor in your movie. I'm asking you, is it time to write a new script? Are you going through life's motions? Do you feel stuck? Are you not where you want to be in your health, your finances, your relationships, your business? If you're not where you currently want to be, then it's time to go through your data, all these thoughts, create clarity, present them visually, create structure. And then here's the story. So, this final visual is literally they've taken all those Lego pieces and they've built a visual, an image. And this is a house with a car, they have a tree. This is now some people talk about this as a vision board. Now you've created what you actually want. This is like the blueprint, the clarity in your life. Now, for those that are living unconscious, going through life's motions, if you don't do these steps of arranging and sorting the awareness pieces, having clarity and intention, then nothing in your life will change. And here's the thing, if you're fine with where you're at and you don't desire any change, that's okay. Not everybody wants change in their life, not everybody wants more. But I just want you to know that if you do want more, if you want better health, if you want to live in financial freedom rather than scarcity and just getting by, that is possible for you. When first you become aware and then you start setting intentions and being proactive rather than reactive in your life. So I'd love to open this up for any questions. For those that are watching live, I invite you to drop them in the chat now so I can answer any questions you may have. Also, if you're watching the replay, you can comment in the box below because I'll come back and check this and I'm happy to respond to that or bring that to a next live training. So again, I'm just going to open it up to questions. I don't know if you guys haven't dropped any questions. So either this made 100% sense So that's amazing. Or you don't know where to start and don't have questions. Either way, no worries. And I know a lot of people don't like to post stuff publicly. So I invite you, you can send me a DM, you can email me directly. This is all on my website, my contact form, my email address. My whole point here is to help you become a conscious creator of your reality. You're living one of two ways right now. You're either living your life by design, by being intentional, by being mindful, creating clarity, having that blueprint 1% better every single day. Or you're living life by default, going through life's motions, living life on a hamster wheel. Because I get it. I've been there. I've done that. I've lived in both. And I just want you to know it's a whole lot more fun. You have a lot more control when you're living life by design, when you're mindful and intentional and become aware of these. I just had a comment. John said, I like decluttering my life. That is a huge step. Yes, John, thank you for sharing. John is also a previous coaching client. Hopefully, I'll bring him on one of these lives to share how he overcame procrastination, literally collapsed time, and some quote, 6, 7 year visions he had for himself. But we'll share that another day. All right, before we end today's live, are there any questions regarding, this awareness step? Like, where do you even begin when, you're starting on this path? I'd love to help you. Otherwise, I offer you to send me a message directly or email me, and I can always bring it on for our next live stream. If not, it doesn't seem like there's any more questions. I so appreciate you watching today. Thank you for joining me. I'd love to hear where you're watching from. Comment below whether you're watching live or the replay, and I'll catch you next week. Have a fabulous week.